What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I made a video. If this is your first time here, please click the subscribe button below. I would really appreciate it. I finally figured out how to get the YouTube icon on the bottom of the screen right there. And always remember, everything with empathy. My insurance company sent me this today. Really cool shirt. I love it. Today, though, I want to make a video on saving money for a house, for a down payment on a house, right? I get a lot of questions about this from, people online, friends, whatever, right? Because growing up, a lot of us are taught that, you buy a house, it's the American dream, right? It's the best thing. That's the path to, true wealth, which in part it is. 90% of millionaires in this world are millionaires from real estate, right? But when buying your first house, you don't need to put 20% down, and that's why a lot of these loan programs have come out over the years, making home ownership affordable for people. So, for instance, I just bought my house in July. I only put 3% down on the house, and it was a really, really nice deal. I'm having 2 people live with me. I'm doing a house hack. And, we'll see where it goes. But I do want to, build a rental portfolio down the road and house by house. And, it's going to be a slow progression, but it's definitely something I want to do. I think real estate is a really good investment. I think the stock market is. I think all of those things are really good things. But I wanted to just talk about 5 ways that I think are going to help someone if they're struggling to get money down for a down payment on a house. So, first point that I came up with was figuring out a budget, right? If you're going to buy a house a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, how much money do you want to put aside every month? How much money do you need? And kind of sticking to that budget and putting it in account. Let's say you're buying a house a year or 2 from now and you're saving for it. I don't know if it'd be the best idea to put that money in the market, in a mutual fund, ETF, bond, whatever you're putting in the money in, right? You probably just want to put that in a savings account that's earning interest. Now, if you plan to buy a house 5 years down the road, then yeah, probably put it in the market. But as of now, the stock market, it's definitely up a little bit in the past couple weeks. But, if you were planning to buy a house this year, you probably lost some money. So figure out what you want to do and put the money in the right account. So my second point is most people are renting, obviously, right now. And renting is great. I don't think it's a bad thing, but rent cheap if you can. For the last 3 years before I bought my house, I rented a very, very cheap house. And I knew that because I didn't really care where I lived. I could really care less how nice the house is because I knew what my long-term goal was, right? I wanted to buy a house. I want to buy multiple homes, and have that one day, right? So rent is money you're paying that you're never going to see again. So find something that you can live with roommates. You can live in an older house where the rent is cheap, but live as cheaply as possible. I can't stress that enough, especially in your 20s. Save as much as you can, rent as cheap as possible, because the money you're paying in rent, you're never going to see it again. You're making the landlord, the owner, money and putting that money in his or her pocket. So rent cheap. And I know there's options out there. I know obviously in a city like New York City or San Francisco, it's tough, but I live in Philadelphia. I know there's a lot of apartments out there that you can find that are cheap. And because I've experienced it and I have other people that have experienced it as well. So rent cheap. Number 3, third point, lower expenses. There's certain expenses I think that a lot of people can cut down on, subscriptions, that's just one example, but a lot of different things where people can definitely cut down. So if you have areas in your life and expenses that you can cut down on, especially now with everything going on in the world, you're probably not spending a lot of money. So save as much as possible and look in different areas on where you can cut down those expenses. My 4th point is pay down debt, especially personal credit card debt. You want to, if you have some, whether it be a little or a lot, you want to pay down all of that, because if you're going to go to a lender, if you're going to go to a big bank and get a mortgage, right, they're going to run a credit check on you. They want to see that you have good credit, that you make your payments on time. So, don't go and try to get approved for a mortgage when you have like $5,000 of personal credit card debt. It's just not, you might get approved. I don't know. But pay down your debt. A lot of us have student loan debt, myself included, but pay down as much debt as possible because, you take on a mortgage, you're incurring some debt, right? Obviously, it's going to be a big chunk of debt, but it's good debt, right? Because you're paying down that principal, you're paying down that interest every month once you get a house, and you're building equity, right? And that equity appreciates over time, hopefully. Usually it does, depending on what area of the country you're buying a house in, but that turns into appreciation, and you're paying down that debt. So real estate debt is good debt. And then the fifth point of how you can do things to save money for houses, come up with a side hustle. I mean, I think now we live in a world where, a lot of people are getting a job on the side, realizing that one income really isn't enough. And I believe that to be true. I don't think that one income is going to get you to where you are, get you the freedom that you want. It might not. It depends on how high your income really is, right? Because we can only save so much every month based on our monthly income. But, the sky's the limit when it comes to increasing our income, because if we increase our income, then we can save more money and put that money towards, assets that give us income. So that was my fifth point. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it was a little longer video, but I came up with those 5 ways that helped me save money for a house. So I hope that helps. Thanks for listening. Again, if this is your first time here, please click the button below, and I would really appreciate it. And I will see you next time.